if my microphone's not working.
All right, let's try that once again. Hey, once again, guys, thank you once again for being part of the broadcast. This is Pastor Sherman, and this is Christ&Culture. And we've had some really weird technical difficulties already on the show, folks. And we hope that we're able to make it through. So if we do have some technical difficulties, it's not because we're just trying not to do it. We've got these gremlins. We just call them gremlins. And they're trying to infiltrate our space, and we're doing everything we can to try not to make it happen. So, anyways, many of you guys know that we come to you once a week and talk to you about what's going on in the world, and hope that you're able to get something out of it. That you're able to maybe see what the world through the lenses of a couple of humble pastors that are just trying to do our thing for the Lamb. My partner in crime is, as always, Pastor Tommy Allums. Pastor Tommy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Pastor Sherman. How are you?
Good, real good. It's getting close to Easter. I'm pretty excited about that. How about you?
Yeah, and it's 90 degrees today and tomorrow.
Only in Vegas, right? Our springtime in Vegas
Right.
lasts for about what, 2 days, maybe 3 days at the max, and then it's done. Yeah, we're
Yep.
done with that. We don't need any more of that stinking good weather. How about you? How are you acclimating already to that the great Vegas weather?
Um, I yeah, I don't know if you ever get acclimated to Las Vegas weather. You just kind of have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's I actually like the warmer weather. I don't like it when it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I don't live on the East Coast anymore. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely don't want to be on the East Coast because it is just bad. I hear over on the East Coast they're getting snow right now, hail and snow. And I
yep.
don't know about you. I just no. And now, Pastor Tommy, where were you? I don't know if I ever asked you this. Where were you born at? Are
I
you
was born and raised in San Francisco.
okay?
So yeah, yep. But I was in the military, so I traveled a lot.
Yeah. So you've seen snow, and
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm not a fan of snow, not even a little bit.
No, I'm not a fan of snow. Yeah, my first real experience when I lived on the East Coast, I my car was buried, so I had to walk to work,
Mm-hmm.
and it was probably like 3 inches, 3 feet of snow,
Yeah.
and I didn't have any snow gear, and I got there late, and as soon as I got there, my manager said, "Hey, you're late. Go out there and shovel the snow in a blizzard."
In a
It
blizzard.
was coming
Yes.
down fast,
Oh my
faster
gosh.
than I could shovel it. And I said, "Boss, I can't do this, man."
No,
He
my
started laughing. He
God.
said, "All right, come on in."
Oh my gosh. What kind of boss is that? That's
I've
horrible.
never been a I've never been a fan of snow since then.
Yeah. No. 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 And I've been in snow before. Just I've never had to live in it per se for any length of time. But I was born back on the East Coast and never really spent most of my time out here in Vegas. So that's fine with me.
Mm,
I would just rather I'm good with that. Um, so Easter's coming up, and I want
yep,
to
yep.
thank you for inviting us. You've invited us to a seder, and so
Yes.
very excited about that. Hopefully, folks out there, we went to a seder last year, and we're hoping that folks that are out there are actually able to go to one themselves this year. Would be great. Kind of describe it. I mean, now this one is a friend of yours or church you know of. Kind of describe what we can look forward to.
This is my first time being at a Seder.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really sure. I hear it's like a 7 course meal, and through the meal, they explain the different um, parts of the meal in reference to Christ, and how it happened in the Old Testament through the Passover and all that. So I'm looking forward to learning more about it and having that experience, because I am learning more about Jewish culture and how Scripture fits into that, or Jewish culture fits in the scripture. I'm not sure which way to put it, but they are something that come together. We should know that as believers of scripture, we should know where we come from and what everything is based on and why we have these different festivals, these different dinners, these different holidays. And so, yeah, I'm excited about learning more.
Yeah, well, so am I. So it's going to be a should be a fun time. I'm looking really forward to it. Right now, we're still having some technical difficulties with our video, so we're going to be switching back and forth between Pastor Tommy and I, which is fine. We'll make it work. It's not a big deal, but it'd be nice to be able to have our regular video screen and everything else. Pastor Tommy, there's a story that I want to start off the show. Before we do that, I want to let people know that if you would like to. You'd like to get a hold of us, we're now on our YouTube channel, which I'm going to go to that screen right now and open up our YouTube channel. It is Christ and Culture Show. Let me make sure. It's Christ and Culture Show, and I want to, if yeah, there it is, Christ and Culture Show. So we've got it up right now, and if you'd like to get in on the conversation, we'd love to get in on the conversation with you, and you can get in on the conversation. I can actually even hear you just a little bit, tell you the truth in my ear. But if you'd like to get in on it, we're on your YouTube channel, which is Christ and Culture, or you can go to Christ and Culture Show, and you can come up on that. We'd encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to that channel too, which would be great. And also, a little bit later this afternoon, we'll try to get the show up on our Godstream TV channel. Definitely have it up on Spotify and on Apple Podcast. And let your friends know about it. I mean, let your friends know all about what's going on here on this show. And we'd love for you to, get on that. Also, if you'd like to write to us, you can actually write to us at Christ and Culture Show at gmail.com. It's Christ and Culture Show at gmail.com. And we'd love to have you be on the show with us. It'd be great. So I'm going to try to get Pastor Tommy back on here. So I'm having some real difficulties. I'm sorry, Pastor Tommy. You can't see it, Pastor Tommy, but I can see it. It's just really kind of very irritating, to tell you the truth. But we're trying to get the show working just perfect all the time. And sometimes you go, oh my gosh, why even, it drives you crazy that so many things happen all at one time. But we'll get this down. First article that we're going to talk about today, though, is on... many of you probably been keeping up with what's been going on in the wild world of, it just seems like the wild world of intrigue in the country. We had Elon Musk, who has been tasked with going through the White House and going through all the administration, all the branches of government, and trying to find waste, fraud, and abuse. And once he started getting on the page of the Trump administration, he became the target of all kinds of ire from those on the left. And not only him personally, but the guys who are doing it, who are part of this what they call Doge, DOGE. And also, now it's actually gone to his company. One of his companies is Tesla. Many of you know he's one of the, if not the largest electrical car manufacturers in the world, definitely one of the most popular in the world. And people have been going around vandalizing those Tesla dealerships. We even had it happen here in Las Vegas, where somebody went through there with Molotov cocktails and throwing them around. It's just been crazy. Well, there's an article out of the Hill saying that the FBI is actually getting involved in this, and the headline says FBI launches Tesla vandalism task force. The FBI confirmed Monday it has established a task force to investigate the wave of vandalism and arson incidents targeting Tesla in recent weeks. Director Kash Patel has been unequivocally clear. The FBI will be relentless in its mission to protect the American people, the FBI said in a statement confirming reports of the task force. Pastor Tommy, this has been one of those things that it's just, I just don't know if people realize how bad this is. um, for the FBI to get involved in it. Let's get your thoughts and maybe some commentary on it.
Well, when I say this hits home, this really hits home. I
Mm.
mean that wasn't a dealership here in Las Vegas. It was like a Tesla maintenance shop.
Mm-hmm.
It's so close to my house that I had to detour to leave my house. That's how close it was. Um, so I figured it, and I mentioned it last week or 2 weeks ago when it happened, whenever it was. I mentioned that it was going to be domestic terrorism. I already knew that. So I'm not really surprised about that. But you are right. Things are getting so crazy, dangerous. For what though? Here's the question. What did this man do that's so bad where innocent people are having their cars keyed, they're having windows shot out, they're having people assaulted just because they drive a Tesla? What did Elon Musk do that's so bad that innocent people and their possessions have to be destroyed? I don't get it. I really don't get it. You know, we're living in crazy times.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think that's the worst part about this whole thing, is that Elon Musk, and I said this last week, we have people who are coming to our nation, um, people from Britain, that kind of stuff. And they are going, wow, you actually have Elon Musk that is actually helping you guys. Isn't Elon Musk the guy who's got, the Starlink and he's got all these things and he's got the Boring Company and isn't he the one who invented PayPal? You mean that guy's working for you guys for free? Oh, wait a minute. And he's the richest man in the world and he wants to go through the books of America and show you where the waste, fraud, and abuse is at? And you're doing what? You're upset about it? That's what drives you crazy. Is that people are upset that a man with this immense amount of talent is being attacked. Now here's another thing too, Pastor Tommy, is that the guys who are doing that are part of Doge, the 20 some odd year old kids that are working on this stuff, they're not taking a salary either. And
Yeah, I heard.
yet, and you know how much those guys could be making every year? Elon Musk said something. The president had a cabinet meeting yesterday, and he's talking to various members of the cabinet, and he said each one of those guys could be out making millions of dollars a year, doing anything they want to do because they're just brilliant young kids, right? And
Mhm.
yet they chose to work for the American people. And what I mean, how and this is how they get thanks, right?
Right.
Tesla's a stupid car, right? And here's another
Right.
thing. So Tesla's a car. So who do you think are the majority of people who are driving Tesla cars? They're probably liberals. They're
I was gonna
liberals.
say liberal. Yeah.
They are. They're
Yeah.
liberals because during the Biden administration, he pushed so hard to get everybody driving these electrical cars. Okay, these electric cars, and most conservatives go, nope, not going to be pushed into doing anything. Not going to do it. So most of the people who bought these cars were libs, and now their cars are being keyed. People are putting bombs. People are getting stopped on the road. This is crazy. Um, Pastor Tommy, what do you think is at the root cause of all of this angst that is being fomented against Tesla and Tesla cars?
You know, I was thinking about that actually, and I probably got a little bit too deep on my thinking, but it's the same mindset. So it kind of goes back to what's happening over in Israel right now. Israel is in their land, right? And they were assaulted on a day, and then they have terrorists come in, create a terrorist activity,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then kidnap hostages that there's no negotiation that's letting them go. They let a few go, but it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't because of negotiation. It was because they
Yeah,
were getting tore up, bombed.
yeah.
But so you have those people there that you cannot negotiate with, you can't reason with, you can't make sense of what they're doing. And then you have people over here that are supporting them doing that. It's the same mindset. And these are the same people that's creating terror here in this country. You can't reason with them. You can't cause them to make any sense of it. And so the question is now, what do we do? What do we do with them? Because you can't reason with people that don't have the ability to reason. Destroying a man's property because you don't like him does not make sense. I just can't get that to make sense. So we, as the body of Christ, again, this is just one of those things, and we just need to pray and ask God for wisdom. How do we navigate this? Pray for our leaders that they make the right decisions, and just pray with that Holy Ghost fire so that we
Mm.
can have the enemy's hand stop. Because I don't know how to reconcile this any other way, because it's spiritual.
I know this is a spiritual battle. I mean, it's just not a battle. It's a spiritual battle, and we're fighting against a spirit that has taken over the Democrat Party. I got to tell you, I think it's and I know people say, "Oh, the same thing's happening on the right," and I'm going, "No, no, I don't think so. I don't. I don't see people on the right." There was as a matter of fact, it's a story that we, well, we can talk about it now. There was a lady on a subway train, and she saw a guy who was wearing a MAGA hat, a red MAGA hat, and she didn't like it. She didn't like the guy's hat, and so she went. She gives this guy, what for, and she's telling him, I hate you, that kind of stuff, and then uh, this guy's going, oh, you mean this hat? He's kind of messing with her, and everybody in the train is basically going, lady, look, you need to leave this guy alone, because she's basically telling him, hey, you know what? I hate you and I hate your hat. And then the guy gets off this subway train, and the lady's behind him now, and she's chasing him now. She chases the guy out of the subway car and falls, does a face plant on the ground in the subway in an effort to try to grab this guy. My question is, what is wrong with somebody like this that she would actually think that it's all right for her to go chasing after another human being just because she doesn't like his hat? Is she out of her mind? Oh, I think we think we lost Pastor Tommy. Oh, oh, can you hear me? Uh-oh. So Pastor Tommy can't hear me, and it looks like we lost him for just a second. We're going to try to get him back in just a second here, folks. Um, so once again, the question is what connects people? What makes people think that they are that they can be the judge, the jury, and make things work. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one thing over here with Pastor Tommy, and then I'm gonna bring him back and see if we can get back on here with him. And let's see if I can get back here. I know I'm gonna leave for just a second, and then I'm gonna go back to Video Ninja. All right. So we've been having some technical difficulties, but fear not, folks. We will get back in here for just a second, and we will see if we can get Pastor Tommy back. And let's see. I think Pastor Tommy can hear me now. Yay, he can hear me now.
Yes.
All right, let's see
Yes.
if he can. We'll see if we can bring him back here. Okay. So my question to you, Pastor Tommy, is what makes somebody think that it is okay for them to chase you down? I mean, the story was basically some lady decides that she's going to chase down a another person who's wearing a MAGA hat, and she seems to think that it's all right for her to go ahead and chase somebody down in the when it's pretty obvious that she has no right to. So what do you think is spiritually happening with people like that?
They've lost their mind, really. I mean, because I can't figure out anyone in their right mind that would just be that irate over a hat. And I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
People get angry just because someone has a hat or drives a Tesla or has a T-shirt with a cross on it. Um, you know, people have really lost their minds. People are angry. People are they're they're just in their mind that just isn't there really. There's no reasoning for that. Is that the lady who chased the guy off the subway and she ended up
Yeah.
eating
Yep.
dirt?
Same one. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It was just a when I first saw this, um, when I first saw this story, I thought to myself, "This is ridiculous." I mean, what would have happened? And I saw one of the talking heads talking about this. He said, what if it would have been somebody who was not backing off of them off in getting out of the situation? What if it had been an aggressive male who said, "Wait a minute, lady, who are you?" You know, and he basically said, "Look, go ahead and touch me, and I'm going to deck you," or something like that. Okay,
Yeah,
let's take it to the next level. What if it would have been somebody who said, "Hey, I fear for my life," and he pulled out a gun?
yeah,
What would have happened then? And so I think we're at a place right now in society where people need to really kind of check themselves, because at some point, the people on the right, those conservatives who feel threatened, or maybe it's some loony lefty out there who bought a Tesla, let's say, because there are most
yeah.
people who bought a Tesla anyways. What if one of
Hmm.
those guys say, "Hey, look, I feel threatened," and they're in a state where it's a stand your ground law? Because this what happened a few years ago to a young
Yeah,
black kid, um, and it was down in Florida, I believe it was, and the guy shot the kid because he said, "Look, I felt threatened." We do, and there are people that do that. So I think they need to think about this. Um, let's turn the corner here a little bit. There's another article out of the Hill, and I don't know if you remember this. It just happened recently. There's a, an app that you can put on your phone. It's called Signal, and Signal is much like Messenger or something like that, encrypted though. And I know I've been using it for a couple of years myself. A couple of the folks who are in the inner circle in the White House are using that, namely Josh, excuse me, um, some of the Tulsi Gabbard people like that are on these chats. Well, the guy who is the executive, who was his name is, um, oh, let me make sure I get this guy's name right because I'm going to screw it up. Here, let me read this to you. Okay, this is out of the Hall, and it says Hawley knocks leftist media for griping about who's on a text message. Senator Josh Hawley, Republican out of Missouri, slammed the leftist media for its continued griping about who's on a text message after it was revealed that the Atlantic's editor in chief was added to a reported war plan group chat with top Trump administration officials. Hawley joined Fox News' Laura Ingle on Monday after the news broke about Jeffrey Goldberg, is the guy's name, being added to a group chat where a reported plan to attack the Houthis was discussed. Now, here's the deal about it. From what I'm getting, Mike Waltz, who's part of the CIA, I believe he is, in the Defense Department, someplace in there, was might have been at fault. He might have leaked this guy. He might have gotten this guy involved in this group chat, where they're discussing some pretty sensitive topics. And instead of this editor in chief going, "Oh gosh, I'm in the wrong place. I shouldn't be in on this conversation," he decides to go out and tell everybody that, "Hey, I was on this group chat, and guess what? They were talking about war plans and everything else." And he made much to do about nothing because evidently these guys were on TV this morning in front of a congressional hearing, and they were saying no, that there were no top secret plans spoken of or anything else like. So I guess what my question to you, Pastor Tommy, is what do you think about this Goldberg guy? Jeffrey Goldberg is the editor in chief of the Atlantic. Um, what should he have done, and what do you think it benefited anybody by him um, disclosing to the world that some sensitive information might be spoken of in a group chat?
Well, everyone that I've seen so far, including President Trump, has discredited the man,
Mm-hmm.
saying a list of lies that he has told over the few years. prior to this, there
Mm-hmm.
is actually so far, from what I'm hearing, there is not any proof that he was actually on that thread. So
Mm.
that is something that they're actually looking at to see if he was actually on the thread. But all I think he wanted to do is what just happened. He wanted to create a stir. He wanted to make the Republicans look bad, look like, you know, they're bumbling idiots, and that was his whole goal. And
Mm-hmm.
he attempted to accomplish that. But the truth is going to come out either way it goes. Um, it's just I read something in one of those articles.
Mm-hmm.
It may have been that article that actually said that the Democratic Party is warring against Trump, and that phrase just caught me for a second. I'm going, wait a minute, aren't we in the same country? Why are you warring against one man?
Yeah.
When 90% of the people who voted for this man, why are you
Mm-hmm.
warring against what he's doing? And everything seemingly is good for the country. Things are starting to turn around. Things are starting to get better. Things are getting exposed, and I think that's why they're upset. But my
Mm.
point is, he wanted to stir up and make things look worse than what they are, so that they can have a story. Because there's no story, unless
Yeah.
they make one up.
Unless they make something up, yeah. Well, it
Yeah.
seems like Democrats have changed their tactics, and which is, I mean, they're brilliant. They are just brilliant. Somebody told them back in the 60s, the 1860s, that once they lost the Civil War, they had to change their tactics. Okay? And they change their, and over the years what they do is they keep morphing into something new. And what they've done now is they've alienated the white working class male. They've alienated minorities. They've embraced liberal elites, and they find out that, wait a minute, we can't win the popular vote, we can't win the electoral college vote by going in this tactic. So now their tactic is, and you've probably seen this, is now they're going after judges. They've had these judges. Now here's the thing about it. They've had these judges installed since the 70s. Some of these guys have been around a long time, and they're appointed for life. And now they're activating these judges. As a matter of fact, there's a story about these mass deportations. Tren de Aragua. Many of you have heard about Tren de Aragua, and Venezuelan gang. The Trump administration came into office, and they started just getting rid of all of them. And so they loaded them up on planes, worked out deals with Venezuela, they worked out deals with El Salvador, sent them over to El Salvador. And what happened? The Dems, instead of saying, yay, this is a wonderful thing that our country is getting, being liberated from these gangs, they go, no, you know what we're going to do is we're going to oppose anything that Trump does. And how are they going to do it? Now because they have no power, but they have the secret weapon, which is federal judges now, or even in this case, district court judges. Um, it goes back to what you were saying before. How are they thinking that they are advancing the country by going against what President Trump is doing? Here's the thing. They don't care about advancing the country. They care about
Right.
power. Because
Mm-hmm.
if they were smart, they would go, hey, we're going to be more like Republicans, and we're just going to outdo the Republicans.
Yes, that's what I would do.
Outdo the Republicans, right? Hey, we're gonna get you want budget slashes? Yeah, we're gonna slash everything. We're gonna slash it all. Okay, okay. Yes, you're right, Republicans, but we can outdo you. We're gonna show the American people we can outdo. But you know what? They're making a calculated move to say we don't care. We're gonna go as far left as we possibly can, and um, do you think? I guess my question, is, do you think they're even will ever learn their lesson, or do you think at some point they will pivot back to the right?
No, no. It goes back to what I was saying earlier in the show. these are people you can't negotiate with. These are people that have no reason, no ability to reason. So they're on a mission, and that's
Mm-hmm.
all they care about. You just said it. They care about power, and that's their mission. They want power. They want that vote back. They want all the people. They want to be in control, and they're not in control. So they're going to do everything they can, opposite of what's doing now. But to answer your question, no, I don't. I don't think it's even possible. They have a lot. Um, they have a lot to yield at this point. It's almost like they're at the point of no return. They're so far out there. It's like, hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I know.
No, they can't hear.
They are. That's the scary thing about them, isn't it? That I think that's the scariest thing about it is how far left can you go? And time will tell. I mean, they went as far left as they possibly could go. Anyways, they went to the point where they were saying that a man is a woman, all these other crazy things. We thought, okay, it couldn't get any worse than this, right? And now they're fighting. They're fighting an overhaul of the federal government by slashing the budget, doing all these other things, and they're fighting gang members being sent out of the country. Okay, they're fighting a woman's right to be a woman. They're
Yeah.
they're still fighting these battles. I think it is a spiritual thing at this point.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
I think it's really a spiritual thing. And so I guess now the discussion is who is leading the spiritual renaissance for the Democrat Party? Who do you think is at
That
the tip of the spear there?
you mean a spiritual being or a
Yeah.
man? Well,
Um,
yeah, it's definitely Satan. It's
mhm.
There's no one else but him. And that's where people really need to be careful on which side they choose, because Romans 1 says, because they did not like to retain God in their knowledge,
Mhm.
he handed them over to a reprobate mind, or to a mind that's just off.
Right.
He's handing them over to their own mind, that they can what's the scripture say, so that they can live in the I forgot what it says,
Mhm.
but so that they can live like they want to live, just without any rules. And that's where it seems like they're at.
Yeah.
And so, to answer your question, yeah, it's absolutely, definitely Satan.
Yeah, it's a satanic. So some people were saying, "Oh, you Republicans, you conservatives are a cult." I'm going, I don't think so, guys. I think the definition of a cult is you guys are, you guys are so rigid in what you believe that if people don't go and conform to
Agree.
what you guys are
Mm-hmm.
saying, that you guys ostracise them, vilify them, maybe firebomb their cars, right?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe
Yeah.
destroy their institution. You got that's and by definition, that is what the liberals are doing. That these progressives, these woke progressives, have gotten to the point where they are so
Violent.
cultish and violent that
Yes.
I think they really need to check themselves. Here's the good thing though, is that you're seeing a almost like California like mass exodus from the Democrat Party. Right now they are at the lowest approval record that they've ever had. I think it's at
Mm-hmm.
29 or 27% approval
Wow.
record for the Democrat Party. Uh, right now in the state of Nevada, Republican voters outnumber Democrat voters right now, which is amazing because it's not been like that. And I know I've been a part of the political scene here in Nevada for quite a while now, and we've always lagged. We've always lagged. Whenever you're doing voter, you know, looking at stats and everything else, they're always +6, +12,
Mm.
which means you've got all these hurdles to get past before you can even get to this point. Well, now it's actually, I think Nevada, it's +6 in Nevada for Republicans,
Mm.
which means there's been a flip. You've also
Yeah.
got Democrats leaving California, which, and I know you left California many years ago,
Mm-hmm.
um, for red states. And they're not leaving California for red states so they can turn wherever they're going into blue states. They're leaving because they're leaving the Democrat Party because they're changing their voter. So what does that tell you about what the Democrats are doing, Pastor Tommy?
Yeah, it's too far out there. It's yeah. Being from California, I don't see how anybody can live in California at this point
Mm.
right now. A lot of my clients are moving like so fast out here. Um, we've got more people coming from Southern California and Northern California. Um, and you're right. Some of them are a little upset with the Democrat Party. They were being forced to think one way, forced to being to they were corralled and forced to a way of thinking, to a way of acting, and what they should accept and what they shouldn't accept. And now that it's starting to become more and more violent, people are like, "Whoa, this has gone too far." So they're moving out of the state and they're flipping colors.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you don't want to be a part of that. It's like there's some things I'll be a part of. Maybe a little bit of send some mail out or something like that. But when it comes to firebombing people's cars, now they're going. Now I'm done. I'm done.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
and I think they look at what it is getting them. It'd be different if they were saying we're benefiting from any of this stuff. You know what I mean? We're benefiting because the uh, the finances of the country are doing well. If I'm safer at home, if all these things are great, but they're saying no. This is not the the budget for the. You're not slashing prices. As a matter of fact, yes, egg prices are going down. Yes, as a matter of fact, the border is closed. Yes, gang violence is going down because the president is sending people out. They're going, why are we voting Democrat? I mean, I've seen that over and over again where people are, it's fun. That's why people become Christians, okay? People become Christians for one reason, because it's good. It's good, it benefits. They want eternal life, yes, okay? People want eternal life, yes. But one of the other reasons why is they see how Christians live. Christians live in a different standard. We have a different way of living. We have a different mindset. We're not walking around all upset all the time, always complaining
Right.
and stuff like that, right? And it's kind of nice to live that way, isn't it? Uh, and so to be a Satanist, be a cultist, to be a somebody who has to be scared and to, let's say these guys they're going around wearing women's clothing and stuff like that, and they're walking around. You cannot tell me that you walking around in a woman's suit, okay? And I've seen some of them, and it looks horrible. Where you've got these guys wearing these big old shoes, they got these big old shoes and little dresses and gaudy looking and bad makeup and bad hair. You cannot tell me that guy's not walking around going, I feel so good about myself now. Yeah, I feel great about myself. This guy's probably waiting for somebody to say something,
Yes.
give him a look. And
Yeah.
so why would you be that way? Why is it really what you want? Is it really something you feel good about? And if not, then maybe you should change your mind and turn around. I'm just saying,
I agree.
For those of you who are just joining in on the conversation, I'm Pastor Sherman. This is Pastor Tommy. And this is Christ and Culture. We come to you once a week, talk to you about some of the things that are going on in the society, in the culture, and hopefully from a Christian point of view where you can actually get a little bit of something out of it. If you'd like to join in the conversation, join us online on our YouTube channel, which is called Christ and Culture Show. You can get in on the chat, which we'd love to hear from you. Can actually see it right now, and hoping that you join us at some point. This is actually season 2 of our show, which is it's been fun. Pastor Tommy, if you enjoyed doing the show, I shouldn't ask you this.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, of course. No, I don't know.
I hate doing this show, right?
It's fun though. I look forward to it.
If you'd like to write to us, go ahead and write to us at christandcultureshow@gmail.com. It's christandculture@gmail.com. You can also check us out on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Also, you can check us out on Godstream TV. Okay, Godstream TV. Would love for you to get in on the conversation. There was I don't know, Chuck Schumer is having some issues. Chuck Schumer, many of you know, he's the minority leader of the Senate, and he's having some issues. He's really having, and there are people that are gunning for him. This is a story out of Politico, and this is it's bad when Politico, which is a left-leaning magazine, comes out with a story bagging on you. And it's called "A Rising Democratic Star is Ready for New Leadership Without Chuck Schumer." Oh my gosh! This guy's got to be thinking, "Wait a minute, I just got here, and I just." Michigan Democrat, her name is Mallory Morrow, says it's time for a new generation to take on Trump. Okay, I'll come back to this. This is very interesting. Mallory McMorrow doesn't claim to have all the answers for the Democratic Party, but at the age of 38, she's so old, isn't she? At the tender age of 38, the Michigan Democrat gears up for a likely Senate run next month. She says generational change is needed, including at the leadership level. Wow. In an interview with Politico magazine, McMorrow's state senator, so she's a state senator right now, she's not on the national level yet, but she's a state senator, said it wasn't clear to her that Chuck Schumer could continue in his role as Senate minority leader, and that she would not vote for him as leader should she ultimately win a highly contested primary and general election. Ooh, wow. So the knives are out already. It happened to Joe Biden first. He had he got cooed, and now Chuck Schumer. I think Chuck probably thinking, "Oh, I'm good. I'll be good for another 10 years or so." And the knives are out, and they're after him now too. What say ye, Pastor Tommy, about what's going on with old poor Chuck Schumer?
There it is. This is what we've been talking about. If you don't fit in that box, the knives are coming out, the bombs are coming, the fire bombs are coming, whatever it is. And all Chuck did to get this blowback was to say, you know what, I don't want to shut down the country. That's all it did. That's basically why we're here, because he didn't want to shut down the country.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah. It's really sad. Nancy Pelosi, the dame of the Congress, been around since Carter invented pills, went after Joe Biden when his useful days were over, and staged a coup on Joe Biden. And I never saw Chuck Schumer jump up and down and going, "No, let Joe Biden be all right." No. You know what he did? He went, "Yeah, get rid of his old butt. Get rid of him too." And now they're coming after him. And say, you be careful what you wish for, because it's coming back to bite you. So now they have Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez going around the country, parading around the country, ginning up support for a coup in the Congress. Because she is going to probably be the one who is going to primary Chuck Schumer.
Yep.
There's already whispering in the wind that she is going to be the next one. And how does Chuck, I guess, so what does this say about the leadership of the Democrat Party?
Well, just the party in general, it's cutthroat. It's cultish. If you don't play in the sandbox like we want you to play, it's time for you to go. It's just that simple. And everyone in that party that doesn't play by the rules is gonna get axed. That's just how it works. That's just how they have it set up. And going back to what we were talking about before, you asked, why would this guy put this article out here about the cabinet members sharing, pertinent information? It's to cause division, because right now the Republican Party is humming along. It is humming. It's in unity. and then you have this other severed party, all kind of splintered in all kind of different ways, and that's what we're seeing. This party is splintered, and so they're wanting to get rid of any loose screws, any squeaky wheels, anybody's on the chopping block at this point for them.
Yeah, I really feel bad for Chuck. Well, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't feel bad for him, but well, it's because you know what? He has been a party faithful for, I don't know how many years now. It's been many, many years. And as somebody who has done his job, he's done his job for all these years. It's kind of scary to see that he could be gone like that because he did not. It's not that he didn't vote right, right? He just didn't get anything for voting right,
Right.
and that's what they're saying. So, and and something you said before, Pastor Sherman, are the Democrat Party working for the American people, or are they working for the Democrat Party? So you answer that question for me. Who are they working for, do you think?
They're working for themselves because they don't care about the people. They really don't, because it's evident. They got people running around doing crazy stuff right now, saying crazy things. There was another young lady saying that um, Ted Cruz need to be hit over the head. I mean, it's just. Where does it stop? It's just.
And she says, "Oh no, you know what? I'm not being literal." I said, "Yeah, you are. You're being literal.
Yeah,
You're saying
you're being
for
literal.
my birthday, right? For my birthday, take him out." I go, "Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That sounds
How are we
like
supposed to take that?
yeah. How are you supposed to take that, right?" Now, if he gets shot, she's gone. Oh, I did it. You took me serious. I wasn't serious. But since he's gone, right?
Right.
Yeah. So here, we live in a day and age where people follow directions, right? And if she says, "I want him taken out for my birthday," I think people will. He might get shot. I would be very careful. Matter of fact, Pam Bondi, you mentioned her name is gosh, what is her name? Crockett. Forgot her first name.
Yeah.
But she's a nut, and she fancies herself as the next Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The problem she has is she is very, what do they call it? Caustic. She's very prickly. When she speaks, it's like, oh, she's like grabbing pieces of skin. AOC comes on, I'm kind of smiling, I'm kind of cute, and you don't realize she's ripping skin off you until it's too late. Okay.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi was the same way. I forgot the girl's name. Once again, her last name is Crockett. She is just like, kill a brother, effing this, effing that. I'm going, where the heck did this go to? Where did this come from? But she fancies herself as AOC. So let's go back to this nationwide tour that AOC and Bernie Sanders are on right now. Bernie Sanders, who is an independent caucusing with the Democrat Party, is now acknowledging that the Democrats have problems. And he and John Fetterman, who is the senator from Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, are all moderates, kind of, and they're saying the Democrat Party is going the wrong direction. What do you think Bernie Sanders' motivation is to go out on a nationwide tour with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, talking about this, that, and the other thing? What do you think they're doing?
He's setting her up. He's setting her up to be the next leader, minority leader. He's setting her up for sure. Because what else would it be? The timing is almost perfect. It is perfect of the way everything is falling together. I think that's what it is. He's setting her, because they asked him that question and he ended the interview.
Yeah. It's bad when you go, no, I don't want to talk no more. No, don't need to talk no more. Let's go on next. I'm going. So, is this so Bernie? You got no reason to be hanging out with this sister. You know, what I mean, you got no reason. She's unless you're getting something out of this. Okay, maybe a cabinet position, maybe a maybe a what do they call it? You'll be the leader of some kind of
Mm-hmm.
uh, some kind of something. He's wanting
Yeah.
something out of this because they're not going to vote for
Mm-hmm.
Bernie Sanders. He's a nut.
Right.
Matter of fact,
Yep.
they clipped his wings when he was running against Hillary Clinton, and they said
Mm-hmm.
anybody but Bernie. Okay, he's a nut.
Right.
Alexander, and he's trying to figure he can get her in though. If he can get her in
Mm-hmm.
as maybe she could be the leader. She could be the minority
Yeah.
leader instead of Chuck
Yep.
Schumer. What the thoughts are right now is that for the next 15 years, the Democrat Party thinks that they are not going to have any power. They're going to be out of power. They'll probably lose the presidency again in 2028, and they will probably lose both houses of Congress in the midterms coming up just in a couple of years now, and they'll probably lose it again. So what do they have? What can they do? Well, now they're infighting because there's no leader
Mm-hmm.
of the Democrat Party. Now, let me ask you a question. Who do you think is the leader of the Democrat Party at this point?
What's his name? The guy. He's out there too. The light skinned black guy. What's his name? Um.
Oh, you mean the guy who's the minority leader in the Senate right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so that's how much we know about this guy. Yeah, no, no,
You
no.
know who I'm talking about, right?
Hakeem Jeffries.
Yeah, Jeffries. Jeffries. Yeah.
Hakeem. Yes. No. No. Uh, Hakeem just doesn't have it. He does not have the
No, he.
charisma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I
Yeah.
would say that Hakeem. Matter of fact, they did a poll on who were the leaders, and AOC was number one. She got like 10% of the vote, and
Mm,
then it went down. Hakeem, who is the leader of the Democrat Party as far as
mm-hmm.
Senate, uh, is he got? I think he got 2%. I think he got about 2% of the people to vote for him. So it doesn't look like Hakeem might. I think Hakeem is probably going to fade away at some point. As a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about a little bit of something else. We've only got a couple more minutes left. um, let's talk about something international, and and the reason why I bring this up is because it's something that actually has to do with the church. This is a story it's an SRN news story. It's the court in Japan orders the dissolution of the Unification Church in Tokyo. The Unification Church in Japan was ordered dissolved by a court Tuesday after the government request spurred by the investigation into a 2022 assassination of former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. The South Korean based church said it was considering an immediate appeal of the Tokyo District Court's revocation of its legal status, which would take away its tax exempt privilege and require liquidation of its assets. The order followed a request by Japan's Education Ministry in 2023 to dissolve the influential South Korean based sect, citing manipulative fundraising and recruitment tactics that sowed fear among followers and harmed their families. Interesting story. Now, do you know anything about this Unification Church? I really don't
I
know much
I
about them.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
either. I've heard that name, but I
Mhm.
just really don't understand what they do.
Yeah, I'm really looking. I'm interested in this. That anywhere where you see religious rights being squashed, um, and it really depends on where it's at. But when you see stuff like this, you go to yourself, well, this is I don't know if this really sits well. In a related story, the Republican Governor Brad Little. This is another SRN news story. Uh, the headline here is Idaho strikes a blow for religious freedom. This is Republican Governor Brad Little has signed legislation that will keep doctors and other medical personnel from having to participate in procedures that violate their deeply held beliefs. That means a Christian healthcare professional will not have to perform an abortion or sex change operation if he doesn't wish to. Okay? This is very interesting too, because we were at a point right now where they were saying, "Hey, guess what? You work in a hospital, or you work at, this, clinic or something like that. If you work here, we require you to go against your religiously held, deep-seated, beliefs, and do this." And a lot of doctors were saying, we can't do this. We just can't do this. What are your thoughts on this, Pastor Tommy?
That's actually a good thing. And you said it's in Utah, right?
This is in Idaho. Yeah.
Idaho. Okay.
Yeah.
They have a Mormon population there too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. The Mormons are, they know where to draw the line there, and they will fight.
Yeah.
They will fight. So that's actually a good thing. That creates a little bit of liberty for us, for those who believe that they're not forced to do something that they're not wanting to do or feel comfortable doing.
I know. I think the if you look at this from a 8,000 feet view, this looks like it could actually be something that could go nationwide, because it really
Yes.
doesn't take much precedent. So you have to establish precedent someplace. And I'm
Right.
thinking that you've got people are now going to be looking at this Idaho ruling, where a judge says, as we're saying, that somebody's religiously held beliefs um, have are germane. They have standing. That now this can go to Nevada, this could go to Oregon, this could
Hmm.
go to California, right? Where you have doctors who are working in these big, you know, permanente
Hmm.
hospitals. Kaiser, is it called Kaiser Permanente or something like
Kaiser.
that?
Yep. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And they work in these big places. A woman comes in, she goes, "Hey, I want an abortion," and they said, "Hey, you're up next," and the doctor goes, "Well, I'm not doing this." And now this doctor can say, "Look, I am not going to be fired because now I'm going to hire a legal team and look at this
Hmm.
Idaho ruling that probably this could be something that spreads nationwide." Um, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. I really am.
Yeah. I'm encouraged by it.
Yeah, this will be great. Um, last, just got a couple more minutes. Yeah. Oh gosh, we got 1 minute. Anyways, let's talk one last thing here. Um, the I'm trying to figure out. Well, we can't. We've only got like 1 minute left. Anyways, right now in our federal government, we've got some crazy things that are going on, and I really believe that one of the things that we as a people need to do is we need to continue to keep an eye on what's going on at the court level in our institutions, where you've got district court judges. And this is an interesting thing about a district court judge can come out of his hole in San Francisco, Idaho, Kansas City, whatever it is, and he can make a judgment that could affect the rest of the nation. And that's something that we're watching play out right now, where you've got this judge, and I don't even remember where this judge was at, but the ruling that he was trying to rule upon was in D.C. He wasn't even close to this. And if the Supreme Court does not step in and squash this, this could have an effect nationally, not only nationally but globally, because now we've got and I heard somebody saying this, that some global leader could say, "Hey, we worked out a deal with the president of the United States, but now it can be squashed because some guy in Kansas City who says I don't like what's going on here." Um, Pastor Tommy, give me give me your input on this. What do you this particular case? And this is with the Trinidad Aragua thing right now. What do you think should be the place of the three-panel judges that are coming up right now? And if it has to go to the Supreme Court, what do you think the Supreme Court is going to do with a case like this?
Well, what I hope they would do is just uphold what President Trump is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're talking about Tren de Aragua, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I to go against that, to hold destruction here, the potential of destruction here in this country,
Yeah.
and to prevent the president of the United States who wants to better this country and remove illegal criminals who have a history of of coming back to this country and creating more criminal activity. You know, the vilest, not just, oh, he picked this man's pocket and stole his wallet. No, we're talking some violent stuff here. We don't need to go into it, but I think that they should uphold what the president is trying to do, and let this country get back on track like it should be.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I hope it doesn't go any further than it is. Right now, there's a 3-judge panel that's reviewing this case right now. Hopefully, it will end there. To tell you the truth, I really do. But
Yes.
if it doesn't, the Supreme Court, John Roberts, needs to step in and go, look, you guys have got to stop this because you cannot keep doing this. You're ruining our judicial system by stepping into this into this area. Anyways, Pastor Tommy, I'm going to let you go. We're out of time right now. We will see you again next week, okay?
All right. God bless.
God bless you too. And folks, thank you once again for being a part of the broadcast today. This has been Pastor Sherman for for Christ and Culture. Once again, we'll have the show up on our YouTube channel pretty quick. It should be up and finalized here in a couple of minutes here. But we'll also have it up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on Godstream TV ASAP. Once again, this has been Pastor Sherman for Christ and Culture. Thank you once again for being part of the broadcast, folks. We will see you again next week for more of Christ and Culture. Bye-bye.